Getting extreme rate parts shouldn't be filling me with anxiety, but I mean, here we are again. Here's White Boy. I have for it extreme rate clear shell and a set of TMR GUI kit sticks. I have thoughts on these, and I knew these things were going to be a little controversial after reading all of the reviews from it. This thing has mild drift on the right stick. I'm not going to put carbon pad to potentiometers in there again. This is the only option. I'll get to that. I'll get to my thoughts when I open this. It'll be a lot more apparent. I also bought a handy tool that will fit in my solder iron. Never used one of these before, so I'm interested to see how they work. So for the shell, I opted for clear. Sort of to stick with sort of the White Boy aesthetic, I just went with the clear plastic. I think that's going to look really nice. I'm going to have to be very careful with my solder joints. Let me get everything sort of looked at, unpacked, and see kind of what I need to do here. If there's anything special in regards to, like, how I assemble everything. I will want to look up their guide. And I mean, this is not going to be the first time I've taken one of these apart. But here are the magnets, which I might as well put in the new shell because I can keep this... Well, I might as well just recycle them out of the old shell. There's really no reason not to. Comes with all the screws, all the various screwdrivers, all of the buttons, which I do want. A double-sided piece of adhesive. More adhesive. This probably is for the magnets. Yeah. Which I might actually end up needing. I don't know what this small part's for. It must be for the 3 LED array. Yeah, the LED array right here. Okay. Interesting. So these parts I'm not going to need. I'm just going to recycle all the old stuff. I do want to take White Boy fully apart before I do that. I also need to touch up a boo-boo I made when I ripped off a leg of a chip. The chip is connected, I just wanted to put some UV mask on it. Just to protect the joint. It shouldn't be visible, I don't think, because I think it's on the opposite side of the board. If it is visible, I might make the executive decision to not put this clear shell on White Boy, and instead put it on my other Elite controller that I got. Which the other Elite controller, the only thing wrong with it is the shoulder buttons, like, weren't soldered in very good from the factory, I think. It's kind of the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And why exactly I'm getting rid of this white shell, if you haven't been kind of keeping up, this shell is cracked. Like, here it is, cracked right here. The rubber isn't coming up because the rubber is, like, falling off. It's coming up because this shell has been cracked. And that clip is gone, but that's not really the most important part. Oh, so this LED array, so these things are like plastic welded in. Or they're like plastic riveted in. Okay, I wonder how the extreme rate shell deals with that. Let me get off these thumbsticks. Which are not going to be used in the GUI kit. Screwdriver, screwdriver, screwdriver. Where art thou, screwdriver? Ignoring the fact that this came with screwdrivers because mine is cooler. But I have a nasty habit of placing it places where I don't exactly remember where I placed it. I mean, how hidden should a blue-handled screwdriver be? I mean, I just used it to take apart a disk drive. Oh, it's down there still. Alright. T10s, perhaps? No. I'll do all the like component transferring later. Why is it skipping? Oh, because these are security bits, and that is not a security bit. Right. Oh, my T8 security is kicking around somewhere. The Y tip. The T9. T8 non-security. T6 security. T10. I accidentally put my... Madness, I say, madness. Where did I put it? Is it up here? Why would I put it up here? Yeah, T8 security. Okay. This is starting off great. And I forgot about this. I think I nicked one of the edges of the... I nicked one of these cables, so I surrounded it and capped on tape to protect it. I think I might make the executive decision to put this into a different... Or put this mid-frame into a different shell. Or I might transfer the mid-frame. And use the mid-frame from this controller over here that just had the bad shoulder buttons. I will, however, just take all these out because I'm going to want to transfer this mid-frame into that other mid-frame. This will be kind of two operations at once. So I want to get all, I'll get all this out later. I'll do just separately. I'm sort of deciding on the fly here. So here's the other one. I have it currently connected to an Xbox. I'll turn it off. And this mid-frame's good, or this entire shell is good. So I will transfer the guts of White Boy into it, and it will become Black Boy. The controller formerly known as White Boy. And this will be the one I transfer into the clear shell because it is the mid-frame is in much better shape and I don't have to do, or I don't need to hide my things I've done to it. In my defense, that controller was acting very strange. And I do want to put TMR sticks in both of them. There we go. I didn't break. You know what I'm going to do? This is going to be kind of a hacky, sort of two things at once. I think I'm going to continue with White Boy. I'm going to change out the sticks. This will be my practice round, so to speak. So that I know for certain I know how to do this. I have 2 TMR stick kits from Giukit that I can try. And I mean, it's not like I don't think I'm gonna fail. I'm at least gonna get it, but what will be kind of the deciding factor is like how well the operation goes, because I need to install these with the mid frame on. Because in GUI kits, and just the way they did it, these those domes that I twisted off are not twist off. There were decisions made. I think they were compromises that I don't necessarily agree with. But these are also different stick technologies. How on earth do I take this off again? Should just pop off. Yeah, why wasn't it popping off? And I almost don't think I need to go any further than this. I do want to put the UV mask over my blemish, so... Right, I need to do that. And yeah, I just had a lot of, like, hacky stuff. To be fair, this was a cheap controller, and it had a very strange issue. So I had to do quite a bit of investigation into this thing to figure out what the hell was wrong with it. It ended up being, like, quite a journey to figure out what was wrong with it. And it ended up being a lot of, like, nothing. Like, weird telemetry with Microsoft or something. So thankfully that blemish I was talking about it's on the other side. Let me just rip this Kapton tape out. I'll just get new stuff later. So since all I need to do is put some solder mask over some points, I do need to get off these without breaking them. Which I haven't had much luck so far. The other one, or my main controller that I took apart, I think as a reference, I ended up snapping these off. One of them off, so probably the remains of White Boy will be harvested into that console, and I'll make a panda. Because I can't glue that piece of plastic on, because that's just, with the amount of tension that piece is on, I don't think any fixes I can make will be lasting. Okay, shoulder buttons are now out of the way. I can sort of, kind of do this at once here. I need to flip it over. Okay, I mean, the fix I made is not that obvious. I'm gonna have to grab my microscope just to even see it. Which... be very careful grabbing my microscope. And I might put some goober on the water damaged area as well. See if my microscope will turn on. Sometimes cycling sources will help it. There it is. Ah, so you can see it right there. So that little wire I have hooked up to this U13 chip That was my fix. I broke the leg off of that U13 chip, so I just rerouted the wire across the trace where it's at, and it's secure. I mean, I don't want to poke it necessarily too much, but it's solid in there. So I just wanted to put some UV glue on that, make sure that it's nice and secure. Would it be all that surprising that I misplaced my tube of UV glue? Not at all. Almost like I should have been a little more prepared for this. Well, I had it out to try and repair a fan on an Xbox One, but that was kind of a fool's errand. Because those fans are held on by some pretty... Or it's held on by quite a bit of force. UV glue and super glue just did not even stand a chance. I'd almost have to, like, epoxy it. Oh, here it is. It matched with my black shelf. So I got that place all nice and goobered up. And then also all the water damaged areas. All the water damage has been resolved. All those connections are good. I just want to cover up all of these pads. Hopefully the heat from the joystick replacement won't harm any of these joints. I didn't quite think about that before doing this, but I think it will be okay. So let me not have my camera. I don't know what UV will do to a camera, so I'm just going to not risk my camera. Grab some UV. Oh my god, that's bright. Oh, I must have broke another tab of White Boy. That wasn't in there when I put it together. I mean, I'm not going to say my disassembly method is perfect, but... And there's also the fact that this thing has been through hell. I mean, like, the hand parts are just... They're completely cracked. Like, even right in there. All of that yellow is UV glue that I tried to save it with, but I just decided this is just... It's just too much damage. Beyond saving. I think I need new batteries for my flashlight here. My UV light isn't that strong. Okay, I do have some batteries ready. Oh, gee whiz. Alright, that is a much better UV light. Hold it on there for a little bit. Get these out of here. Now this stuff cures pretty quickly, so I don't have to like hold it. Alright, I think that's good. I can maybe do a longer cure later. So, the GUI kits. Oh, the GUI kits. So these are TMR sticks, specifically made for the Elite Series 2. There are two things that should be noted immediately. Firstly, these are plastic. They aren't metal. Now, that's intentional. That's not them being cheap. I mean, TMR is related to magnets. They can't have magnetic components in a joystick because that will completely defeat the purpose. The second part is these domes don't twist off. The only way you can replace these joysticks like like the Elite controllers, you have to kind of like... This does not feel as good as the magnets. I'll just say that for certain. But... So that adds quite a large layer of difficulty when it comes to installing these, because I need to install... I think I need to have everything put together in order to get the pieces through. And what I mean by that is I have... Instead of separating out this green board completely, like putting it into a stand and separating it, I have to keep it married to the mid-frame, which means I run the risk of melting it if I'm not careful. So that would be keeping it, and it has to be in this apparatus. And once I put in these TMR sticks, I'll no longer be able to separate the mid-frame from the blue portion, which in this case, the mid-frame for White Boy is good. I don't need to change it. But if I ever wanted to clean the buttons, I would have to remove the sticks. Because right now, unless they've been resolved, these domes should be the same size. And these do not... And if I were to screw these on, I'm not able to separate the green motherboard. I am just going to check. This is from what I remember disassembling these things. Is once I put these in, I can't separate them from the mid-frame. And I hope I'm wrong. Like, I really hope I'm wrong. And I think I am. Or what it looks like is, okay, I am not right, or I am not completely wrong, but I'm not completely right. So this right one is getting caught. It's getting caught on the blue subboard. The problem with that is there are 2 more screws I can't see. So in order to take off this blue subboard, I have to remove the joystick. I see that as a major design flaw. I don't know why Giukit thought that was okay. I don't... Like, I could maybe... I'm just gonna kind of play with it now. Like, I could maybe... If I were to remove that post, I might be able to, like, pivot it. I would have to remove both posts. I might be able to, like, pivot the board. These posts are in here pretty good. So it's basically, once I install it, this thing's never coming back apart without some serious solder work. And I mean, I am certain these are one piece. And I'm not going to try and take them off either. I can look one more time at the store listing just to make sure that, yes, what I'm seeing and what I understood is correct. But I think whatever design was approved should not be... Because they do have the tension in them. I'll look up Giukit's website. I don't think they offer it on their website anymore. Maybe... I wouldn't think because of the backlash. No, here they are. Please note that the dome part of the tension adjustment under the stick cap is integrated with the joystick component and cannot be separated. So do not attempt to disassemble this part as it will damage the whole joystick. Exactly what I mean. So thankfully I have this tool, and I have the solder iron. I should be able to remove it fairly easily if I ever needed to disassemble this console, but this is a flaw. This is a fundamental design flaw. Unless, like, one of these domes are narrower, or unless these domes are narrower, I can't justify that design, because it now renders the buttons inaccessible. This mid-frame as one unit. Let me just try and see, like, maybe their design, I can't imagine, because this is from the Giukit website. So yeah, I can't fit those domes through there. So it's, once I install it, it's permanent. The mid-frame is part of the, now the assembly is just stuck together. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's the only way I can get like, reputable sticks that won't drift on me, is to get them screwed together like this. This one will be easy. I might have to lower it in to this side. I mean, thankfully the pads for these solder joints are easy to get to. So it's not like I'm making a huge compromise here, but it sucks. I mean, man, it sucks. It sucks that the sticks feel cheap, but they have to be like that. And it sucks that these are both assembled like this, but I hope that the results are worth it. The results speak for themselves, is what I mean. Is the compromises worth never having to deal with stick drift on these damned controllers anymore? Because right now this one has stick drift. I was able to replicate it. It's not bad. It's a light right input on the right stick. So it is enough to be annoying. It's enough that my character will just start slowly looking to the right. I think my mold is perfect. Yeah, look at that. This will be interesting. I'm really excited to use this, despite all of my moaning about Giukit. So I'm going to get this installed, and I'm going to put this in the shell of... Now I gotta make another decision. I want the black buttons. I'm glad I thought about that, because I'm not going to be able to get to the buttons or the membranes. So if I wanted to... And the problem with that is, even if you are, like, really clean and careful, my hands are pretty oily, and I'll get finger goobers. Or just gunk and grime will eventually make their way into my controllers after years and years and years of use. It's just unavoidable in my case. And I mean, if you're like washing your hands all the time, and not soldering stuff randomly, and I think the only justification I can make here, in order to keep the... I'm thinking here. I'm having a thonk. I would have to remove every screw from this lower assembly. Or from this blue shell piece. Like, only have this screw in. And I don't think that's going to be good enough. Like, what I'm thinking of is making it so I can remove this blue board. I'm going to have to remember to put that headphone jack in, because it's also going to be sort of permanently in, too. I didn't really do any favors keeping the rumble motors and everything together. Get all of these out. Why is this stuck on the shoulder button spring of all things? Alright, this is gonna be really hacky. So I need to get the controller I called Blasto. I need to get it apart. These buttons and membranes, I'm just gonna put in the remnants of White Boy, keep them for spares. I don't think I'm ever gonna use them, but spares all the same. These are all the same screws, but I'm just going to separate them. Now this controller is in much better shape, so I will put this in the clear shell, as I've already kind of stated. I don't know why there's pieces of adhesive right there. That definitely wasn't in White Boy when I took it apart. Actually, I could make this the panda. No, because... yeah, maybe I just didn't, like, fully think this through. I might keep White Boy, I think that might be my personal controller, and I'll take the guts out of my other black controller. Possibly sell that one instead. Making a lot of decisions on the fly here. I didn't think this was going to be a complicated decision, but it ended up being a very complicated decision. But these guts will look a lot nicer in the clear system than it would in... or than, White Boy would. Oh god. So if White Boy's going to be my personal controller, man, I need another set of GUI kits. I don't like how much resistance that's offering me. Come on. You want to pop off. There you go. Yeah, I should yeah. My personal controller that I have, I did swap the sticks off of because the means in which I got that console, or that controller, it took a tumble down the stairs and it completely destroyed one of the thumbsticks. Just shattered it. Like, I've never seen a thumbstick just in bits. So I had to replace it, and that was my first joystick repair. I'm not gonna say that I did an awful job, but it required a lot more heat than I expected, for one. And I wasn't exactly super comfortable being, like, blasting this thing with that much heat. So, it was a learning experience for certain, and it works just fine. The motherboard pads where the joystick goes in, like, I think I scratched away some of the solder mask there. If this install will be a lot easier than or if it's going to be as easy as I expect it to be, I shouldn't make it worse. I just hope my iron can make it hot enough. That's kind of what I'm worried about. Okay, so the clear shell did not come with a mid-frame, so I have to supply my own, which makes sense. And just to sort of refresh myself on what I'm doing, I'm getting the buttons out of this one. This is the motherboard I'm going to put into the clear shell. So I want to put the clear buttons in the clear shell. And I'm gonna put the black buttons into this, into White Boy. And I mean, if this is gonna be my personal controller, I might even go as far as, like, pandaing it. Do a white and black. I think that would look really cool. Because I think I said I broke... Let me just grab it. I did break the plastic tab on this piece, so it's not tensioned on there. It's also super dusty because I've been playing with these two controllers as a sort of form of testing. Both of them have been testing perfectly. Aside from White Boy having a little bit of drift, but, I mean... I'm trying to do this without removing the rumble motors, because I don't necessarily need to. I can muddle through this without doing that. Not to say that it's difficult, but, I mean, I don't really need to in this case. Yeah, I'm thinking on the fly here. I do want to do my first attempt of a joystick repair on White Boy. Forgot to grab the D-pad off of this one. No, I'm not doing the joystick repair on White Boy. I'm doing it on my one that I just showed. I'm falling apart. Decisions. Oh, come on. This D-pad should not be that hard. There it goes. I need to be careful with this mid-frame. Thinking White Boy is gonna be mine. I just needed to get the buttons off of it. So I need to get White Boy back. This will be my personal console. Or my personal controller. I'll take the ugliness with that trace repair. I'll keep it. I do want to keep one of these controllers, so I'll just keep it right here. All of its faults. Here's the mid-frame and everything for the black controller. I'm gonna need this. I don't know if they came with this piece. I'm just gonna put everything else aside into a pile. Try and keep it somewhat organized off screen here. Because now I gotta take apart another controller. And I mean, for a very first joystick repair, I think I did pretty darn good. Now this one has it's starting to peel a little. I've never seen this happen. Like, my other two controllers aren't doing that. I don't know if this was super well used before I got it, or sort of the circumstances that created that peeling. All I know is I'm not necessarily a fan of how I take these apart. But I feel like I've gotten pretty good at it. Especially once you take them apart the first time, you break sort of the adhesive pads that they put on these controllers as I launch it. Like, I mean, I've taken this off several times. I haven't broken any of these clips. It's these two, Microsoft put these big adhesive pads right here. Those are kind of a bitch to break at the first point. Or the first time you open them. I guess I'll put this controller here. So yeah, this little tab up here, I completely snapped off. It sucked. Sucked. I was lifting. There goes the other one. I was just lifting to take it off just like that, as carefully as I did the other two controllers, and just completely broke on me. I think I saw it bounce back somewhere over here. Whatever. I mean... yeah, here it is. I mean, this sucks, but... I mean, this controller did take a tumble down the stairs. It is possible that that just was... there was stress fractures in it, and maybe me prying it off finally just was enough. Well, just one too many times when I pried it apart to do the joysticks and pried it apart as a control unit for repairing White Boy. Sucks, but I mean... thankfully, the remains of White Boy will be harvested. Ooh, wrong bit. I'm getting things kind of mixed up here. I just need to get rid of this right here. This is just gonna get in my way and make things even more confusing than they already are. So where's my other bit? It needs to be a big security. Here it is. I'm gonna grab another pill container. Well, I know those are all the same screws, but I'm just gonna be extra careful. Yeah, this controller doesn't have those like pads of adhesive right there. I don't know what those were from. I'm pretty sure my controller has been, or the other black controller, which I aptly named Blasto for no real reason. I think Blasto was opened up because one of the clips were broken. I guess I could even show it. It's right here. This clip was broken off, and that was not me. I know I did not break that off because when I shook the controller, when I first got it, I heard a rattling. I'm like, oh, good. What happened to this poor thing? Let me get the thumbsticks off. So my first TMR install will be in a controller where I did my first joystick install. There's something kind of poetic about that. So I might as well keep the buttons in this controller. This controller will go into the other black console, so I have no reason to take off these buttons. I will remove that though. I'm just trying to think if my logic is sound here. I'm just looking over at my Xbox, which kind of turned off on me for some reason. Okay. So this controller is going in the clear console. This controller is going in the other black shell, which doesn't have peeling. Something like that, yeah. So I should be good to install everything right now. Because, yeah, so you'll see right here, I sort of nicked away some of that solder mask on the that ground plane in particular, that button, that solder joint sucked. Holy, what did it take a lot of heat. Like, I don't even think, I had to hit it with hot air and a solder iron at the same time in order to get that joint to just budge, let alone let loose. I need to make sure again, I just need to triple check my logic. So this is the one, so I'm gonna part with this controller is going to be parted with. This was my old main controller that I replaced the joysticks with. And I've had no problems with it since. I might reflow the solder joints on the shoulder buttons. I know one of these shoulder buttons can sometimes have some problems, but I mean, I haven't had much problems with it since. I need to do something about this Xbox right next to me. Oh, I won't be able to connect controllers. Darn it. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if this Xbox has a bad disk drive or not. Okay, I can connect it wireless. So this controller I am going to sell. I know one of my shoulder buttons was having some problems. I was able to just clean it, and it worked just fine. I might just be able to I might just reflow the solder joints before I do anything too crazy here. Just so that I know that it's not a solder joint issue and it was just getting dirty. Am I also kind of stalling because I don't necessarily want to do the joysticks? There's also a little bit of that. I don't know how well it's going to go. I really don't. And I hope that, yeah, there's just a lot of, like, YOLO involved. I'm going to need to go a lot hotter than 300 for this. And I'll need some solder as well. Okay, my Xbox turned off because I think it just timed out. I haven't touched it since. I need to go a lot hotter than that. Max out my iron. Okay, there we go. That should eliminate solder joints as a problem with those bumpers. Like, permanently. That should solve it. If I had a pretty easy means of showing an image right now, which I kind of do, but I don't want to do it. The shoulder buttons from Blasto are just crazy. Like, I've never seen so little solder. Like, the solder joints on that controller were just so inconsistent. Like, the front two joints had good solder. The back two joints had functionally no solder on them. And it wasn't because the solder wasn't adequate. It probably passed QA, and it probably sensed inputs for a long time. And I'm guessing what happened is the the person I bought this from probably put too much beans into one of their shoulder button inputs and popped the solder joints, I'm guessing, of the buttons themselves. Just completely cracked them off the board. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh boy. Well, let me get my tip ready. The problem about this is I'm really not going to have a place to put my iron tip once I get this custom tip on. I need to kind of think about this. I didn't quite... Because I'm not going to have a place to put this. Because I have the little mount for my solder iron, but once I put this on, I'm not going to have a place to stick my iron. I'm going to have to either hold it in my hand. Let me grab some of my old solder stuff. Did I also not think this through? Yes. But I'm thinking it through right now. So what I have right here is my old sort of like wire cleaner for an iron. So what I can do is just put my iron in here when I'm done with it. It should be okay. Never tried that before, but... It's also not going to cool down, so I'm going to have to go kind of quick here. So now that is heating up. That might take a fat second to heat up. And it looks like my iron is responding that like, holy crap, what did you put on me? It is heating up very slowly. So this will give me enough time to put everything in a clamp. Now, I really don't want to do what I'm thinking, but I might have to clamp it on the USB-C port. That might be kind of my only good, viable spot that's not directly in the way. Ooh, it's starting to smoke pretty good. Alright, this will be interesting. At 340 degrees, I'm kind of interested what will happen. I need to grab my pair of pliers as well. I feel like it should be coming free, but it isn't. Could be that ground pad that I was talking about. I don't like holding heat on this long. I also don't like that my Omni-Vice sort of tilted on me. Ooh, I'm generating a lot of smoke. Let's try it again. My iron isn't quite heated up all the way, but there should be enough heat. I think it's these stupid ground pads again that are resisting me. Submit! End your torment and my own. Wow. I don't know why this is being very resistant. Or like what it's holding up on. Let me just try and put solder on the end of this. Maybe that's what I'm missing. And yeah, if I'm a dummy for not thinking about this, then I'm a dummy for not thinking about this. I'm guessing it's that same ground pad that I had a problem with. That that bitch is just soaking up heat again. Maxing out my iron for all it's worth, and so I think I have a majority of this thing off. What happened? Oh. How in the hell are you supposed to take this? I don't get it. So what happened was the button part of the joystick got stuck. It got stuck in the stupid green shell. So I have to like partially disassemble. I'm completely flabbergasted here. So I have to partially disassemble this, lift it up away from the shell, or lift it up away from the mid frame a little in order to slide the button off. That is wild. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. Ooh, those screws are warm. So I have to like do this. I have to lift it up in order to yank the button off. Which I think, I don't know if I had it desoldered or not. I couldn't pull it out because there was no clearance. There still kind of isn't. Okay, I got it off. Very ceremoniously dropped it on my PJs where it can burn a hole through them. So this will be, I'm going to turn off this iron. I need to sort of assess the situation here. I didn't damage anything, but it looks awful. This is going to be really hard. So I have to like... How in the hell... Because what it's not clearing is this button, so I have to like... sort of do this number, where I sort of feed it in through the bottom, put it into the holes. And like even now I'm... And now it's... How did I get it stuck? There. To feed it in through the bottom, which I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work as well as I think it's going to work. I do kind of want to clean up my mess. Just all of that baked solder, or baked flux. Must be part of the button that I ripped apart. Now I should just be able to like push or have the iron over these spots and just push the joystick in and just let it solidify. I'll get these pogo connectors later because I'm gonna have to hit them with a brush. Let's hope this compromise is worth it, because this is quite the endeavor. Get my iron back on. Get ready to do this. Oh boy. Well, at least I know that it probably wasn't as bad as I thought it would have been. And me doing this one first probably isn't a good idea. What I might do is pivot and do this other one first. Because this other one, I don't have to worry about clearance with the mid-frame. My iron still held on to all that heat that I just put into it, so I need to kind of work quick. We'll see if this operation goes a lot better, a lot smoother. I need to remember, I just put my thumb in the flux, no! And I mean, if I can save this joystick, I'll put it on White Boy, the one that has the drift. Because this stick did not have drift yet. Okay. I'm just trying to do this in spurts. I'm gonna fill up my holes with solder. AO. If I have any solder joint issues, I'll deal with that afterwards. I'm more worried about not... I don't want to melt the sticks. The underside of the sticks are plastic. That big solder blob kind of bubbling out like that is a little annoying. Please tell me you're not attached to anything. Good. So the expectation of... Okay. I should just be able to push this up. I'm not a fan of that. I might just do this the old-fashioned way. I have a solder sucker. I'll just go ahead and use it. I don't want to melt the underside of this. Not at all. It's not worth it to me. Melting this is one thing. Melting that one is another. And it looks like this one came out okay. Because like I said, these underside are plastic. And if you melt this plastic, it will just kill the stick. So I need to wait a second for my iron to heat up. I need to get water in it. Or water on my sponges. I need a lot more water than that. I just have a big bottle of distilled. And again, the problem I'm going to have with that one stick is that ground pad. I don't know if I... I have solder sucked off of it before, so I can do it again. But in this instance, I don't know if I can use my hot air station without damaging any of the mid-frame plastics. This will certainly be an adventure. What I might do is utilize the heat of this thing and some solder wick. I might be able to use it to wick up that ground pad solder. I can go up to 380 on my solder sucker, which I should probably just do. Especially for that goddamn ground pad. And letting it heat up. Do I even have my water down here? Yes, I do. Not my distilled water, but my people water. Because I bought the solder sucker specifically for joysticks. And I mean, for through-hole components, it's extremely nice. Almost there. Once it hits temperature, I think it just verifies that it's at that temperature or that it stays at a steady temperature for some amount of minutes. Or enough cycles, so to speak. Because even if I only use the specialty iron to take off the thumbsticks, that's really nice. I just don't think I'm confident enough to put them back on. Okay. I need a lot more flux. My desolder gun's a little plugged. Not like this isn't the worst time or anything. No. The Eater solder gun's having a hard time for some reason. Maybe it's time to change out my little filter. I have to get more of these. New filter's not changing anything. Plugged again, my guy? Like, to be honest, it does not sound good. Like, it's still kind of plugged. Guess my desolder gun has a bit of a running nose. I guess of all the days to have difficulties, I guess it would be today. I know I cleaned out my canister, so it shouldn't be this causing problems. I cleaned out the little sort of catch for solder. I always clean it when I'm done. I ramrod it the other way, try and clear it out. These solder guns acting very strange. Let me remove the filter. No, that's an awful idea. Why does things I drop disappear? It is behaving like it's plugged, but I mean, I'm ramrodding it and it's still not. Okay. What am I gonna do? Well, I'm gonna have to do my old strategy because I know that works. I already know this is not gonna turn out well, but hope for the best and expect the worst. Now it's working good. Why I don't exactly like doing that is because it heats everything up. Let me get this stuff cleaned. This is becoming quite the venture. I knew it would. But my poor solder gun just can't kick out enough. Or my desolder gun just can't kick out enough heat. I have to really bathe this thing in rubbing alcohol. Holy, that flux got everywhere. But that's the easiest part. Cleaning this will be, and the piece of cake, really. Did I get all the joints? Can I push this through? No, I missed one. Can I just raw dog it like that? Probably not. I don't think I got this one either. And this is where my joystick tool might come back in handy. I dealt with all that crap. What the heck is going on here? Oh, come on, if you're the temperature you say you are, that should be melting. Okay, it is heating up. I just don't think my station recognized that. What I want to do is just sort of touch it. All the joints. I mean, that somewhat worked. What I was hoping is it would deposit sort of enough solder on everything. I don't want to try that again. I'm sure all of pretty much this entire iron has enough. turn it off, and whatever didn't get soldered I can do by hand. But what that does is get everything locked in place. And it looks like it's on there straight, so I can be like solid knowing that. I'm definitely going to test this before I get like too terribly far ahead of myself. Like I'll get the other one installed, but once I get them both installed, I'm immediately testing. So far, I think it's a lot more difficult than what YouTubers think. What YouTubers have said about it. It is not that easy. Because I've seen some joystick repairs where they just use that iron, take the stick out, put the stick back in, bam, you're done. It is not that easy. And it might be with practice, but right now, holy cow. What's going on over here? Oh. I'm gonna remove all this flux that's just been sitting there for a while. I can try doing that, using the joystick iron to put the joystick on, but I mean, I'm not entirely confident that that's gonna work. But this one's gonna be a lot more complicated. So for this one, what I need to do is feed it through. Feed the joystick through. And then like that, I need to put the joystick on. Well, nothing ventured. Nothing gained. When I put it in my copper, the solder is still liquefied, so it will grab onto the copper or the tin or whatever metal this is. And once it heats up, it will let go again. This is a good indicator to say if it's heated up or not. There it goes. Solder's starting to melt on it. I don't know where I'm aiming. I'm trying to line it up, but it's not quite as easy as one might seem. This is not easy. I don't know how to really do this. I have to do the method that works. Which means solder gunning again. I can't find where to put the joystick, since I have to do this upside down and I can't see where I'm lining up my holes. So I'm just blindly, just sort of probing around looking for my... looking for those holes, but they're not there. Alright, nice and heated up. Let's see what sort of damage I can cause doing this. Yeah, that continues to be the most effective way I can heat the joints on those board, or use my solder gun on this board. Wow, it's hot. Surprisingly. Now I gotta find out where... What I'm probably gonna do here is... I got some of it in. I'm gonna have to sort of lever it or heat up the joints. Maybe one of these solder joints I didn't clear very well. It might be that one right there. Use my joystick installer, heat up all of the joints, and then just shove it in. This is not for the faint of heart. Gotta wait until it melts solder again. Oh, we're getting there. Okay, not very fun. Can't get the last leg in. Ugh. I think I might be damaging that via. It was very hard to tell. Oh, that's good. think I finally got it. Man, am I not confident in that. Not even in the slightest. Don't like what this is doing. Stay in there, please. Stay in there, please. Okay. Now, time to see if I did any long-lasting damage and clean everything up. Very hard. That sucked. I really did not like doing any of that. I think the hardest part, like, again, it's just, not only did I hopefully I didn't break the joystick, because I was sort of pushing on it pretty hard. I think this might just screw on. This is just a tensioner, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. I need to get this thing cleaned off. Blub, blub, blub. Get the rubbing alcohol on there. Get it nice and rinsed. This stuff is going to be caked. No, rubbing alcohol does sort of eat away at the solder, or the flux, or it does. It'll turn it like a white color. But I'm not exactly in the most ideal conditions for cleaning this because everything's sandwiched together, now forcefully and forever. Still not a fan of the design of these joysticks. I will bemoan them. I still don't think this solder, these two joints are in all the way. The problem is I have I don't know how easily I can inspect. I can tell from right here they're not quite all the way down. Damn it. This is not easy. Okay, so I need to get back in there. Get this iron heated back up and try again. Oh, some flux got on the side of the TMR stick. Oh, good. That can only spell good things. So what's the best way to do this? There is no best way to do this. Wow, this is not good. If I was on the product testing for Giukit, I would just laugh in whatever engineer's face, whoever came up with this. I was like, you're kidding, right? April Fools, my guy? It's like, we're a little early for that, but, I mean... Not exactly liking what I'm just about to do, but... If I butcher this controller, I'll know what not to do. Buy more of these thumbsticks. And I may just be seeing things. Like, is it truly not in all the way? No, I'm not seeing things. I am seeing the truth. I just don't know why it's not going in more. I don't like what I'm thinking right now. Well, I mean, I am a bit aggravated by this process. Like, I'm just sitting here shaking my head. How, like, how? How is this more difficult? How is a third-party part more difficult to install? When it should just be a drop-in replacement. Like, it is painfully difficult. I'm stunned. I'm just stunned. I need to test it, and no matter the condition that it's in, I just need to know where I stand on this. I'm assuming I did not install this right one correctly. I'm pretty sure this right one's completely misaligned. I also unscrewed the little nib, so I wonder if I can even put this back in, or is it like completely... Well, I mean... I'm already pretty irked, so let's just see what this does. I need to get a new... everything. Ugh. What's so weird is the TMR sticks for the Switch. They're just they're literal drop-in replacements. These are obviously a little more difficult to install. They're not just ribbon cables, were it so easy. But surely they could be just a little easier to install than this. Alright, so... don't care about the joysticks, or the shoulder buttons, or the D-pad. Just want to get it together in the way that I would expect the controller to be in. Grab the two thumbsticks that it came with. Which are super tall lads, apparently. I like the short lads. Or, this is a long lad? Where's the short lad? This one. These seem really tall. Huh. Alright. So, joystick tester, or gamepad tester. I'm gonna have to connect this to my PC. Okay, I should be connected. I'm going to bring up my gamepad tester here. I should be connected. Connected, device ready to go. Oh, it's probably because gamepad tester you need to kind of be tabbed in. Okay. So it is off. Oh, look at that. That is awful. Okay, I'm gonna go to the Xbox accessories application so I can test these. Hang on. Oh, I need to plug it in order to calibrate it. Here it is. Oh, I named it Tumble. Ha! Look at me. I'm so funny. Recalibration options. Left stick. Okay. Like, what the heck? I kind of feel it, actually. Like, I feel it kind of catching. Right there. Oh, I'm not... Like, maybe this thumbstick wasn't pushed in all the way? Because these thumbsticks kind of clip in. Oh, that's great. Okay, it's just part of the calibration. Yeah, look at this. So, these joysticks are not good. I think I'm done. I'm getting really frustrated about this. This has to have been one of the worst experiences I've had. I've had even removing the OEM thumbsticks and replacing them with aftermarket, I've had better luck. I don't want to call these things garbage, but I am not happy with the performance of these sticks. Like, this one's out of range, and this one was the one that went in pretty good. This is the one I had problems with. And I mean, the plastic feels so cheap. I know TMRs would react to the... Oh, hang on. Okay. Why they felt tall is they weren't pushed in. What the heck? Oh, alright. I didn't push them in all the way. Well, let me try it again, but I can already tell it's not... That doesn't really matter in this case because it's still not registering this top right input all the way. I'll try it again. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that maybe this was just user error, but I mean, look at that. Like, if these sticks are the compromise we need to make to have TMR, I don't think it's worth it. Like, this stick isn't even hitting the boundary. Like, it's the software, it's trying to be compensated for in software, but... Like, look, it's getting better. Like, how many times do I need to calibrate this before it's good? Oh boy. Well, let's keep going. And maybe this is just how it is. This didn't exactly come with any information about how I was supposed to calibrate them. No. Look at that. It's about the same. I don't think it's ever gonna get better. I'm so disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I would have better luck just getting potentiometer ones and just saying, you know what? The install process is so much easier, it's not even worth TMRs. Unless you're like a god at this shit. Because right now, even though I have, like, this left one is supposed to be... This is the one I've had no problem with. Like, it installed really nicely. And I knew it would because I didn't have to deal with it sort of being clamped together. Yeah, that's it. I'm not putting TMR sticks in any of these controllers. This is not worth it. These... This... These are... I don't want to call them garbage, but... I tried. I really tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, hey, they're the compromise we need to make for TMR. They're not worth it. Not only do the metal joysticks feel so much better, the install process is night and day. It's not even close. I can't. I can't. So I'm abandoning this. I'm just gonna leave the carbon potentiometers in them and just say these are literally the best things on the market. There's nothing else. Everything else is either really bad replacements or just simply not worth the install process. Like I'm doing my right calibration. I knew this one was going to be rough and like it's yeah. Like look at that. Look at these inputs. Like that's just awful. So I yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to before I break something, I just need to stop.